That's a different show.
But it hasn't aired yet.
I know.
So no one knows what the fuck we're doing here.
Precisely.
Right.
So, it's on. Nobody knows what the fuck we're doing, so it must be time for Hashtag Shout! The weekly debate / discussion show where we talk about some of the news of the week, bring you tweets of the week, and random shit that we thought was worth sharing. And this week, unfortunately, we are without the Lone Walker one, who's had to go on to a special course. So it's just me and the geek. Hang on, there's a thought. Today was Adam's show.
It was from the show, yeah.
Yeah. Geek?
Yes.
Did he leave you... Oh, he gave me the tweets of the week, but did he leave any instructions with you? Didn't he didn't leave us any instructions, did he?
No.
That means we get to do what we want.
Boobs!
Well, okay, right. I've got an idea. Well, let's get through everything else first, okay? So we'll do the whole tweets of the week, we'll do the whole news thing.
I have exciting news about Star Wars.
Oh, well, how about we jump into the first segment?
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Adam did leave me some tweets, so will you please introduce...
You know, Pip's trying to get at you. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
I am white, I have no idea what you're saying. So could you kindly introduce this first segment of the show? Adam left me his tweets, so I'm going to do them for him.
Right, okay.
So it's the tweets of the week.
Okay.
Right.
It's now time for the fake tweet of the week!
Our first tweet comes from Biggie Langston. An official asked me for my ID, employer, height, weight, then fingerprinted me. Jail? No. GameStop trading? Somehow, yes. At WWE Fandango. I own South Carolina tonight. Next up, the world. Hashtag Fandango. Hashtag Darth Vader at Depressed Darth. Taylor Swift and John Mayer are getting back together. Apparently Taylor doesn't know what never, ever, ever means.
Never ever.
And finally,
getting back together.
AJ Lee. Ask WWE AJ Lee. Plans for tonight. 1. Find cake. Lots of cake. 2. Eat my feelings.
I'd like to add one.
Yes.
Biggie Langston and AJ Lee on the WWE have been having a Twitter rant today amongst each other. Bear in mind, they're probably sitting next to each other doing this. Biggie's reply to AJ when AJ said, "It's grandchildren. It's in her best interest you never procreate." That was hurtful. I'm going to tell my offspring not to play with your kids. Sorry, cats. Don't play with her cats.
Oh dear.
This is just getting interesting.
Indeed it is. At Bane the Boss. Guns don't kill people. Batman keeping the Joker alive kills people.
Guns don't kill people. Rapper does. I saw it in a documentary on BBC Two.
Oh dear. So those were Tweets of the Week. And now we go on to some of the news of the week. And dear God, I've got some news, but Christ, people need to be more entertaining on a weekly basis. It's ridiculous. No, that's not bother. I'll try to recap some of these as briefly as I can, because some of them aren't worth the full fucking reading. Some news includes there's a man who, as part of a bid to try and sell his house, is offered that £10,000 of the sale will go towards lottery tickets, with which, if he has any winnings, will be given to the owner. A portion of it will go to the person that buys the house.
I've never ever.
What I love is the fact that he said, whilst out riding my bike, the lottery suddenly became a blinding obvious solution. It's the utter conviction in his own stupid idea. I like to point out the chances of winning the national lottery are 1 in 14 billion. That doesn't change no matter how many tickets you buy. The only thing you could possibly do is buy every single possible combination. Just to remind you, 1 in 14 billion.
Well, that's just cheering.
You're not going.
Sorry.
You're not going to fucking win the lottery, even if you spend 10k. And if you drop 10k in a lottery win, you're lucky. But it's not, as you put it, Mr. Hodgkinson, a blindingly obvious solution.
Sorry, I just
Yep.
remembered.
What?
Undertaker teams up with Kane and Hell No to face the Shield on Raw. That's cheeky right up.
In other news, police have appealed for help in finding a fraudster who's pretending to be the brother of comedian Peter Kay.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Peter Steed, 50, said he was called Danny Kay and allegedly tricked pub landlords out of cash by offering to put on comedy nights for charity, but then failed to do so. He said he was trying to raise money for the Louis Mighty Fund, a charity set up in the name of 7-year-old Louis Mighty, who died from an aggressive form of cancer last year, Derbyshire police said. The alleged frauds were all carried out in Derbyshire in the summer of 2009, and despite appeals including an appearance on BBC's Crime Watch, Steed has not been traced. The Derbyshire police said he could be anywhere in the country. Anyone with any information is asked to call the police or Crime Stoppers. 25 people have been taken to hospital in Germany after eating sandwiches laced with rat poison. So far, none have shown symptoms of illness, but they are being kept under observation as a precautionary measure. The sandwiches and a note saying they were a gift had been left on the doorstep of car parts company in the northwestern town of Steinfeld.
Steinfeld?
Yeah. Here's my issue. I don't care if it's a bacon sandwich. I don't care if it's a mountain of bacon sandwiches. Any food left on my doorstep with a note saying it's a gift, go fuck yourself.
Idiot.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
Fuck you.
Yeah, look what happened to
Fuck
these...
you.
What? These guys...
Take it back.
These guys had rat poisoned. If they had actually applied a modicum of intelligence, they wouldn't have eaten sandwiches laced with rat poison. A Berlin laboratory confirmed that... What are you, retarded ghost? Anyway, a Berlin laboratory confirmed that food had been spelled with rat poison. We don't believe the amount of poison used would have been deadly, but it could have caused serious illness, said the police spokesperson. They still do not know who left the sandwiches or why.
It was the bacon fairy.
That wanted to kill them.
What we call it. Boss.
Hey! What the fuck, geek?
I don't know.
A man who handed his friend into the police station while dressed as Batman has been charged with burglary. Star Warby, 39, made headlines around the world last month when pictures were released showing him taking Daniel Frey into the police station in Bradford while wearing the Cape Crusader costume. Warby and Frey, 26, have now been charged with burglary after police spotted a vehicle containing suspected stolen property. The men were arrested shortly after 4 a.m. on Sunday on Milner Ing in the Delft Hill area of Bradford. West Yorkshire police spokesperson said 2 men, one aged 39, one aged 26, are due before Bradford Magistrates Court April 26, charged with burglary.
Oh, that's the son of a bitch. Don't promise boobs then, I'll show boobs.
What do you mean?
I put boobs into boobs cosplay into Google, and it showed me a website, and then didn't show me no boobs.
Surely the best place to go for that. Surely the best place to go for that is Tumblr.
Sometimes, but I just,
Isn't like a Tumblr the mecca of searches?
Yeah, but my tabs isn't working properly. Tags isn't working properly. That will. Look, Final Fantasy boobs.
Now, there's a problem with that character, though, because
I don't care.
That character's underage. And I hate when people cosplay underage characters. Like Misty. I always find it insane when you get these lasses who've got, tits that make fucking Dolly Parton jealous.
Oh, okay.
Playing characters like Misty. It's like, Misty's like 13.
I find that hot. And not because, and before
it's not
before the age thing. I need to clear that up.
No, I know what you mean. Some people say, it's like the schoolgirl thing, though. For me, it really isn't, because a schoolgirl, it's like the schoolgirl costume is a schoolgirl costume, but when you're playing a definitive character, then it was like, oh dear God, you know what I mean? But we can get into that. A tourist boss is threatening to sue weather forecasters for pessimistic prediction he claims are ruining his business. Ashford Price claims...
That's not cosplay, this is porn.
Yeah.
A belt around your tits, not a costume.
Yeah. Ashford Price claims whether men and women are increasingly delivering bad news forecasts which rarely reflect reality. A habit of providing basically what this guy's saying
I just remind myself of something.
This guy is going to try and sue weather forecasters for claiming that the weather's going to be shit. And because people think the weather's going to be shit, they're not going to book holidays. So what? This is just insane. I mean, you can't sue the weather company for this book. You can't sue the weather company for this shit.
You can try.
Well, yes, you could try, but...
You can try if you want to.
You leave your friend
behind. Because if you don't dance, they're no friends of mine. Oh.
Yeah, but, it's absurd notion. To be like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to sue weather forecasters because they're dodging my business. Well, why don't you try to come up with a fucking contingency? You ever thought about that?
Come up with a contingency.
It's not my problem. Simple as. That'll be my problem in about 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
But so I don't know, insane. It's ridiculous. This is what I consider a definition of stupid. A theme park is hoping to fashion a new world record by offering cheap admission to thrill seekers wearing onesies. Drayton Manor Park in Staffordshire, hopes its Onesie Fever event on Saturday will smash the existing record for the highest number of people wearing the popular garments in one place. They're popular?
Of what?
Onesies.
They are. They're fucking hugely popular.
As part of the record attempt taking place at 12 p.m. on Saturday, anyone sporting a blue, red or yellow onesie matching the park's logo will pay an entrance fee of just £5.
Whoa, Nelly.
Other onesie wearers will pay a reduced £10.
Whoa, Nelly.
At least 623 participants wearing the all-in-one outfit will be required to set a new world best. Colin Bryan, the park's managing director, said, as part of the onesie phenomenon...
It is actually quite a phenomenon.
Phenomenon. Yeah, but somewhere though, the Undertaker and the Muppets are ganging up.
Phenomenon. I just watched that. The Muppets film, the new one. Oh, it's fucking amazing.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's awesome.
Colin Bryan, the park manager, said, as part of the onesie phenomenon, we are attempting to set a new world record for the most onesie wearers at the park. I would encourage everyone to come together, show up their very best onesie patterns, and be part of something big. No. Allow me to rephrase that with honesty. We hope everyone comes and spends money. There you go. I don't blame them. It's a marketing thing.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to make money, do it. You know, I'm like, hell, if you can get away with fucking brothels in your theme park, I'd vote for it. Mind you, I think brothels should be legal, but that's a separate.
That's a different argument for a different time.
Okay, on to our brave boys. Soldiers fighting on the front line in Afghanistan are preparing for a new challenge: the highest rugby match on Earth.
Sweet, they're gonna get high.
No. The servicemen from the Household Cavalry have recently deployed to Helmand province, where duties include tracking high-risk insurgents and targeting Taliban weapon caches. But on the return to the UK in September, training will begin in earnest as they plan a charity trek to Everest Base Camp, where they will take on Aviva Premiership side Harlequins in a bid to break a world record. Along the way, they will have to carry their own kit, bowls and even posts. At base camp in the Himalayas, an altitude of 5,164 metres, they will have to clear a dried-up lake bed to create their pitch. Captain Mike Wilmot, who is responsible for coordinating ground movements on the battlefield, said, "We are looking for something adventurous to do to keep us active once we leave Afghanistan."
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I have had people who I know in Afghan. I've lost people in Afghan. Mm-hmm. But the lads, what the lads want to do when they come back from Afghan?
Yeah.
Get fucked. Get fucked up. Get pissed. They want to play a rugby game. It's professionals.
Well, we have a lot of rugby players within the Household Cavalry, and this seemed like a great chance to do something that hasn't been done before. It is fantastic that the Harlequins have agreed to take part, and it will be a great reward for all the hard work the Household Cavalry has done in Afghanistan. It will be an arduous task. We'll have to contend with altitude sickness and will need to be physically in top shape. The team are aiming to raise £250,000 for the Household Cavalry Foundation, Combat Stress, and the RFU Injured Players Foundation. They plan to begin the trek in March, and depending on conditions, the match of Touch Sevens could take place in Goksham in April. Cap Wilmot said sponsors were needed to support the mission, with companies being invited to display their logos by the side of the pitch on the team clothing line. But now what I love about the fact is the guy says, this is due to take place in March, and he says that in the present fucking tense, and we're already in April. And yet this was written only, this was written on the 15th of April. But I mean, with the Guinness World Records, like, everyone's desperate to break a world record.
Obviously.
It would be nice, because I don't know how it is. I don't think you get, like, a grant or anything for it. But it would be awesome. Yeah, but it would be awesome if they gave, like, even if it's a small amount, like, alright, here's $1,000. Nice work. Here's a fucking $1,000. Obviously, there's so many different fucking records, you know what I mean? But it'd be nice if we do something more than say, oh, you're a record breaker. But, whatever, It just would be nice to give them something. Now, Google has launched a tool that lets users decide what happens with their email, Google Plus, and other accounts after they die or they become inactive online for any other reason. Called Inactive Account Manager, the feature lets users of Google services tell the company what to do with email messages and other data if their account becomes inactive. For example, Google says users can choose to delete their data after 3, 6, or 12 months of activity, or they can choose specific people to receive the data. Besides Gmail and Google+, other services could include YouTube, the photo-sharing service Picasa, and Blogger. Google says it will warn users through a secondary email address or provide a phone number before taking any action.
Which makes fuck all news if you're dead.
I think it's like if you have confidential shit, but really, it's like, it's one of those ones which is like, okay.
Yes, I shall let Mini Funk have all of my porn subscriptions.
It is, half of me couldn't tell if you're being serious or not.
I don't actually subscribe.
Good point, nobody does. In April, at the end of another seamlessly endless winter, most Russians are eager to get rid of the piles of snow on all the streets. But down south in the Black Sea resort of Sochi, fleets of heavy machinery and a corps of labourers are hard at work trying to store acres or hectares of the freezing white stuff for the 2014 Olympics. Basically trying to grab all the snow and store it. But did they have to call it frozen white stuff? Who wrote? Right, I want to know who wrote this. It was written by. It was posted by ppress.net on the 12th of April. No name, funny enough, given.
So even these fuckers don't have their own sources. They're worse than the wrestling news. At least he takes credit for it.
Yeah, at least he pretends. So the Russians storing their snow.
Storing their white stuff.
Yeah, storing their white stuff.
They've been waiting all year and now they're finally going to release it.
And then they get to share all their white stuff with everyone from around the world.
Well, that got into the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Yeah,
I don't think there's many African teams.
Right, on to chocolate.
No!
Scientists are starting to unravel the mystery of Moorishness. Not a word. Why some snacks seem impossible to eat in small amounts. It is the phenomenon that explains why...
Phenomenon. I just watched that film.
Yeah. By the way, do you know that was the first record I ever owned?
Phenomenon.
Yeah, Phenomenon. The Muppets record. On the old vinyl. I was a kid. Vinyl, it's this thing that you put on a vinyl player.
Nobody cares.
Fuck you.
Actually, a lot of people do.
It is a phenomenon that explains why it can be so difficult to dip into a crisp.
I do apologise for belching all the time. I have just had iron brew.
Yeah, we're drinking iron brew, which has been chilling in the fridge for like 2 days.
So it's quite
about a day, so right. But so it's the phenomenon that explains why it's so difficult to dip into a crisp packet without polishing it all off the well, if you got
because they put a chemical into the fucking Pringles. I mean, to the shaped crisps that once you pop, you cannot stop. Well, that is very similar to fucking cocaine.
Well, here's what I don't get, right? You open a packet of crisps. They're like, oh, it's so difficult to dip into a crisp packet without polishing it all off, all the contents. Well, what the fuck?
I think they mean a big bag.
It doesn't matter. Here's the thing: if I get a packet of, crisps, right, which is a normal size, I'm gonna eat the fucking thing. You're writing, sir, or is it, Mom? Which one is it? Oh, it's PAPress.net again.
I don't like them. Move on.
Fuck it, but that's the scientific. So, all right, so apparently the scientific terminology for this is known as hedonic hyperphagia, which is basically eating to excess for pleasure rather than hunger. So basically, greedy shit.
Likewise, a single bite of chocolate may prove waist-expandingly fatal. Well, fuck you and your skinny cunt.
Anyway, as soon as Google Maps review was rolled out in Lithuania earlier this year, tax authorities were ready. Sitting in the comfort of their own offices, inspectors used the free internet program for a virtual cruise around the streets of some of the Baltic countries' big cities, uncovering dozens of alleged tax violations involving housing construction and property sales. They identified 100 homeowners and 30 construction companies as suspected of tax dodging, thanks to Street View, finding homes where they shouldn't be, and other suspicious activities.
Right now, would you find a home where it shouldn't be?
Yeah, it's like, wait a second, there's supposed to be shit here. This is a house.
Wait a minute, this is supposed to be a river.
You said you lived on a riverboat. I said I lived on a house on a river. This is a completely separate thing.
No, that is perfectly logical.
It's ridiculous. This is an island with a house on it. It's like, what the fuck? And the thing is, how often are those things updated anyway?
They're not that often. I got caught twice by them in Newcastle.
Wow.
Walking past, once going up to the comic book store, and once leaving the comic book store.
Oh, which reminds me of the thing I posted on Tumblr recently with Google Maps.
Yes, the murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
Again, I don't know if it's legit.
Murder.
I don't know if it's legit or if it's like a prank of some kind. The actual photo itself is real. I'll leave a link in the description because I'm not going to post it on the actual video. But if you visit, because apparently it might, be ethical considerations or some bullshit like that. But if you follow the link in the description or in the just below if you're watching this on Tumblr, there's actually a picture caught on Google Maps. And you can find it yourself. I'll leave the coordinates.
That appears to be
a man dumping a murdered body into a lake. Holy fucking shit! But anyway, that was the news.
Phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Of the week. Now, as I said,
I have entertainment.
News.
Exactly.
So, what entertainment news do you have?
I have Avengers 2 news.
And tell me more about Avengers 2. Or just tell me more about Black Widow.
Tell me more.
Oom-ba-ba, oom-ba-ba. I fucking hate that song.
I know, me too. I hate that too.
I had to do it for a GCSE music exam. That's fucking drove me mad.
Josh Whedon has given an update on the Avengers 2. Josh is revealing that he's had the plot in mind for quite some time and confirming that the film will begin probably at the beginning of next year.
Ooh.
We should start shooting I think, in February, says Whedon. I don't think I was gonna do it. Didn't think I was gonna do the second one. But I had an idea for it before I figured out the first one. You go into a movie not assuming that there's going to be another one. I've seen plenty of movies that were the first part of the trilogy that never happened and it's terrible. And you've also seen a TV series fucking fatally cancelled when it should still be on!
Firefly?
Yes!
Right. Never saw it.
You don't save anything for a trip back. Having said that, though, I did sort of know. Whether they were to come back, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be awful.
Fucking
arsewipe. Meanwhile, Whedon is going to enjoy his role as creative consultant for the rest of Phase 2, and is confident that the next wave of Marvel film is going to live up to the first. I'm really excited because I've gotten to look at everything and see behind the curtain and all the stuff. And Kevin Feige, I'm probably saying that name wrong, I do apologize, has a really clear vision and runs through all these movies, says Whedon. They're all very different, but they really are what the next story should be. Personally, I can't wait to go watch Iron Man 3 next week.
It looks to be an okay movie, to be honest with you, if not awesome. But at the very least, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Which is a miracle for a movie these days.
The Avengers 2 will open in the UK on May 1st, 2015. Guardians of the Galaxy, sticking with the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy has filled another slot in its gradually swelling roster.
Alright.
As we know, we've already announced on this show, Dave Bautista is playing Drax the Destroyer.
Yes.
I've just completely gone mad on who the other ones are.
Well,
Zoe Saldana has been cast, as has... thank you.
Now, I'm just bringing up the Internet Movie Database on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Thank you, yes. Wow, I love your new router.
So do I. Yeah, I've got a brand new router. So it's funny, sometimes I still get like the 2 bars, but it's very rare. But yeah.
Yeah, Zoe Saldana as Gamora. Chris Pratt, as really is his name, it's not me just saying that, is Peter Quill, Star-Lord, with Damian Portier rumoured to be Thanos. However, not on there.
Yeah.
Confirmed by a few websites is Michael Rooker, who many people know from, if you're a fan of Walking Dead, you'll know him. That's a picture for Boss because he doesn't know him.
I've seen him in something else.
Yes. He's previously worked with James Gunn and Sliver and Super. Sorry about that. Walking Dead, you'll know him, and you'll also know him if you're on if you watch Mallrats with Kevin Smith's second film. He He had a shaved head in that, though. You have to look. I've seen that. He was rumored to be playing Yondo, a blue-skinned humanoid originating from the primitive Zotan tribe. Yondon is a former game hunter who ends up aligning himself with the Guardians in order to protect his home planet. Rooker's casting shouldn't have come as a surprise. Like I've said, he's previously worked with the director of this one on Sliver and Super. He's lining up with, as I've mentioned just before, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, and former wrestler Dave Bautista. Because it's not Batista, it's Bautista. There's a U in it.
Yeah. In
the forthcoming film, although we still don't have any casting for Grot, the talking tree, or for the anthropomorphized, I said it right, critter known as Rocket Raccoon. These two have had two names which, whether I love them or hate them, are very big names. That's been assigned to them by people, rumors, you know? For Grot, who is a very solemn character, he's a tree, for fuck's sake. But both of these characters are comedy characters. They're thinking Jim Carrey.
Alright.
And for Rocket Raccoon, who's a wisecracking, quick-witted guy, they're thinking Adam Sandler. I'm not opposed to either one of these appearing on it, because Jim Carrey can do solemn and fucking downhearted, and Adam Sandler, given the right script, can be quick-witted. Just don't let him write it.
Yeah.
Or let him put a wig on. Doesn't need to do it. He's a fucking animated character. You won't see him on screen.
Yeah.
At no point is Rocket Raccoon a person.
No.
He's always a rocket. He's always a raccoon with a freaking huge rocket.
So, you reckon is CGI for that?
It's a full CGI, yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame that the animatronics really hasn't getting any further.
Well, I think they'll use a little bit of it, but they'll go the Hulk route with it of CGI, and it's probably green screen. You know, Hulk, Planet Apes type thing, where especially for Rocket Raccoon, where they'll take Sandler's facial expressions and turn it and put it onto the raccoons. Leaving the Marvel Universe briefly to go to the Disney Universe.
Yeah.
In particular, the Disney Pixar Universe. Monsters University, the sequel to the Monsters Inc. film, has continued its canny promo push by revealing a host of new artwork featuring the fraternities and sororities of the titular educational institution. The reveal, which was timed to celebrate Greek Week. In America, during the universities, they have Greek Week. It's friendly competitions between the frats and sororities to become the top power of the top fraternity and the top sorority of each team, of each university. Official descriptions of the groups, as well as the Greek Council, which is the overrunning council that covers all the fraternities on the campus, have been released, and you can find images here. Just to give you a few names, and you can easily find this stuff, so I won't bother putting the links on or the pictures. But you've got Slugger Kappa, or Eek. The Athletic Sisters of Slugger Kappa, Eek, spend most of their days working out and running drills to perfect their scaring skills. Their initiation is a triathlon, and training together 24/7 is strengthen the bonds of sisterhood. You have Eta Hiss, or Hiss. Sorority has been around since the beginning of Monsters University, and the members are mysterious as they are playful. The Hiss sisters might be pale, mysterious, and sullen, but these intimidating goth girls are fierce competitors and tough as nails. You have Jaws, Tata Chai, Jocks. Big on brawn, short on brain power. The Jaws, Tata Chai fraternity brothers are seen rarely without their flashy Letterman jackets. The Jocks are brutal competitors who never hesitate to do whatever it takes to beat their opponents, even if it's breaking the rules. Looking at the pictures of Jocks, you will recognize, if you've seen the first film, that is, you will recognize at least two of those characters from Monsters Inc. Now, Ozma Kappa, okay. A collection of wholesome, good-natured misfits, the adorable brothers of Ozma Kappa have bonded over their inability to make it through the scaring program. With only 4 bodies in the house, they don't even have enough members to compete in the scared games. What they lack in scariness and self-confidence, they make up for in heart. Now here's the thing. The characters that were in OK are Scotty Southside Switless, Art, Don Galton, Teeny and Terry Perry, Mike Wazowski, and James P. Sullivan. Sully. These are the ones that failed the inability to make it in through the scaring program.
Yeah.
Sully is the greatest scare of Monsters Inc. history.
Yeah.
Python Nua Kappa,
Right.
Pink. Pretty and Pink, the sisters of Python Nua Kappa, are not to be underestimated, led by their fearless queen bee, Carrie. These ladies are smart, cold-hearted, and merciless.
Mm-hmm.
Rora Omega Raw, Omega Raw, R Omega R. Fraternity is made up the best of the best. They're the smartest, most skilled, scariest monsters at Monsters U, and have come from families with a long, proud history of scaring. Can you see what it is yet? And finally, on the Greek Council, Clara Wheeler is the president, and Brock Pearson is vice president. And here's the one. They've actually named the guys who are the people who are voicing these. Laurie Wheeler, Greek Council president, is voiced by Aubrey Plaza, who you'll know from if you watch Parks and Recreation, or if you've ever seen the Adam Sandler film Funny People.
Yeah.
Which she's the one who is just fucking. She's the chick in it with. Have you seen Funny People?
No.
I wasn't sure if you were saying yeah that you've seen it. She's the chick in Funny People with the glasses, and the one that Seth wants to get with. Seth Rogen, that is. And then on Parks and Recreation, she's just the sarcastic one. She's like the real downright sarcastic anti-person one. And voice is Tyler Levine of Brock Pearson. Now, I do have to do a quick trick here, but I believe he may be from... No, I'm wrong. I'm actually wrong. He's you'll know him if you've ever seen Reaper. He's Sock from Reaper. He was in Rise of the Planet Apes. He played the ape handler, and it was in a very funny film called Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Well, which I loved for 3 reasons. The guy who played Dale was Tyler Levine, who, of course, as I said, was a Reaper, and I love Reaper. The guy who played Tucker was Alan Tudyk, who was in Firefly, Serenity, and Knight's Tale. He played what in The Knight's Tale? I'll fog you. Little ginger one.
I remember some of it, not all of it though. It's been
and they had the really pretty chick from 30 Rock in it.
Oh, there you go.
So that was a good film. So that's a little bit of movie news I've got for you. Obviously, so it's good to see that they're focusing on Monsters Inc. Like this. And I mean, I went to the cinema the other week, and they had a big Monsters University, as if you're going through the gates of Monsters University, like big standee.
Aye. Where
you could stand and take your picture with Sully and Mike. Ready to, you pose next to it. It was quite good. Monsters University. Oh, the fucking page is frozen on me. Trying to tell you when it's open, and the page with my apps was frozen on me. We'll get back to you on that. If not, we'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, we'll probably get back with it later on.
Yeah, quickly. DC.
Yes.
Flashpoint Paradox cast.
Yes.
This is the Flashpoint animated series. Animated DVD and Blu-ray. The 2 biggest cast members have been cast. Flash and the Thomas Wayne Flashpoint University Batman have been cast, with 2 television stars.
Okay.
Grey's Anatomy star Justin Chambers.
The name doesn't ring a bell, but I might write
and Kevin McKidd has been cast. They're both stars from Grey's Anatomy. And McKidd is especially excited, telling fans on Twitter that he has wanted to play Batman since he was a young child. He tweeted, "I actually painted a life-size Batman on my bedroom wall at age 14 in Scotland."
Yeah.
In addition, Michael B. Jordan was revealed as Cyborg. Danny Houston is General Lane. Danny Houston rings a bell. He plays William Stryker in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He's the younger version of Brian Cox.
All right.
He's also another film I've seen. Did you see the Russell Crowe Robin Hood?
No.
Shame. I do actually like that film. Once you get past the accent, it's fine.
Consider I've seen Kevin Costner's.
Yeah, Costner doesn't change his accent. Crowe tries to. That's a problem.
No, I respect someone that at least tries to get to a British accent.
No, he tries. He makes it like a muddy European one, like a muddy English European one, because obviously he spent like his years and years and years away from England, because he's part of the
Crusades.
Yeah, part of Richard Lionheart's Crusades and in England and stuff like that. Which they're trying to like with some historic actually on a fictional character.
Yeah.
I
just get pissed when Americans try to play British characters and don't change the fucking accent.
I don't know, same here.
That's why I would hate to have an American.
Yes, baby! As if it was meant to be. Nathan, geek god himself, Nathan Fillion, who plays Captain Mao in Serenity, who is Castle in Castle. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, the one that every single fanboy wants to play, Hal Jordan, has returned to the role he had in Justice League Doom as Hal Jordan. That's what I needed to hear. Now, anyway, Carrie, who the fuck are you? So I can see if I can pronounce your name. Carrie Hughes, he must be fucking Welsh, as Aquaman.
Oh dear.
Let me check that name quickly. And I got a little bit more new. Carrie Hughes. I'm not far off. He's from Westminster.
As in Westminster Abbey. That's like London, isn't it?
It's not fucking far off.
From Wales? Yeah, it kind of...
Because like the name Carrie Hughes is a fucking English one.
But it's...
He's from The Princess Bride. He played Wesley. Arthur Homer in Homewood and Dracula, and Lawrence Gordon in Saw. He's also played in Days of Thunder, Hot Shots, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Twister, Liar Liar, and New Year's Eve. Recurring roles in television series such as X-Files as playing Brad Fulmer, and Psych as Pierre Despoir. Whatever. Right, next. Putting that one. Star Wars! Keep that going. Now announced on the 17th of April, multiple online sources are reporting that Disney and Lucasfilm announced Wednesday at CineCon in Las Vegas that there will soon be one new Star Wars movie every summer following 2015. After 2015, there will be a new Star Wars movie every summer after Episode 17. Now, this has been reported by IGN as well as elsewhere. Newsarama, I'm reading it from here. State that Episode 7 will be followed every summer with another new Star Wars movie, alternating between the standalone films we've heard about and the new trilogy that begins with Episode 7. Since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm became official last fall, it's been clear that a lot of Star Wars material was in the works. In November 23rd, 2012, issue of Entertainment Weekly, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said Disney was looking for the company to produce 2 or 3 films a year. Episode 7, the first installment in the new trilogy, was made official at the same time as the October 30th, 2012 news of the acquisition, and Star Trek's J.J. Abrams was announced as a director in January this year. In February, Disney CEO Bob Iger stated that Disney was working on a new standalone film that's in a new trilogy and to be released within the same time frame, and that Larry Kasdan and Simon Kinberg were involved. Now, here's something else that I've heard. What will happen is this. Episode 7 will come out in 2015.
Yeah.
And in a standalone film will come out in 2016.
Yes.
2017, episode 8 will come out. Episode standalone film. Episode
Pattern,
9. And that's not where it ends, they've said.
No.
They said it will continue, we'll expand the universe, whether there be standalone films or not. Now, finally, before I throw it back to Boss, because Boss has got some entertaining little things for us to wrap up with.
Yeah, basically I had to quickly escape the studio there because BT... Sorry, is it O2 or BT Kids?
Same person, really.
I suppose they're both devils.
Now, we had a discussion briefly yesterday about a certain genre of pornography.
Yes, we did, actually.
Which would be parody.
Parody, yes.
Now, I watch it half the time because it's sexy, and half the time because it's downright entertaining.
Yeah.
To watch parodies.
Yeah.
But with really bad acting.
Of course.
Because sometimes they're not that bad. I watched the Batman Triple X one and couldn't tell if it was any different just they threw a sex scene in it.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you kind of questioning it. It's like, were you guys trying to be shit?
Tory Black played Catwoman.
The thing, I've never seen a Tory Black video.
And Lexi Bell
don't even know.
Played Batgirl, and I love Lexi Bell.
I haven't watched any of their videos.
There's...
The problem with Tory Black is, though, Tory Black is one of those ones that her name is put in videos that she's not in.
Yeah, I know.
So
now, Wonder Woman just got one released last week.
Well, it was about time.
Now, we've all seen the Wonder Woman pictures, at least, the very least, of the pilot that never made it.
Yeah, because I saw the pilot thanks to Nash, Film Brain, and Cara from that guy with the glasses. And, oh god, that's a horrible.
Now we all saw that. Yeah. Here's a picture.
Yeah.
Tight leggings.
Yeah.
Basically, looked as if you went to Argos over here, said, "Can I have the one with the leggings?" That version, and got it. It's cheap. It looked tacky. It was vinyl.
Yeah.
It wasn't what Wonder Woman looked like.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is?
What? Don't tell me the porn.
That when you look at the porn version, it looks more realistic and better than the.
Yeah, I'll definitely put that up.
It looks like a better costume design than the freaking real one.
Hell.
And more importantly, that looks like a decent Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She could kick your ass.
Do we know who that is?
I can't remember, but I will find out.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, that's just wow.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? You spend all that money, you think the least thing you do would be find one that didn't make it look as if you had a whore.
Yeah. Just fucking hate. I mean, I'd hate to see the other costume designs, you know what I mean? For like Power Girl, Supergirl, like even like the male ones, like the Batman, the Green Arrow, like that ends up being like amazing costumes. What the fuck? It's like Brazer stepped the fucking game up. Or
Kimberly Kane.
Kimberly Kane. Not a name I've come across.
I have. Very talented.
That's amazing that you couldn't even recognise her with the costume. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was lucky that I was only lucky that a character. Sorry, I had seen before Lexi Bell. I recognised because she came as Barbara Gordon before on TV before she was then Batgirl. They were Robin get it on.
Well, I'll take you away from it.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It really is. Suggestions similar to Colin Mockery. George Takei, Alison Brie. Oh, Alison Brie. I was just talking about it. Henry Winkler and Dave Foley.
Oh my.
Similar to WWE Home Video, Rockstar Spud WWE DV News.
I assume you're talking about Twitter now.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, well, I've been looking at some stuff online.
No, back to a boss!
Yeah. Well, I've been looking at some stuff online. Yesterday, we found some interesting stuff that I thought I'd share with you guys, especially with Adam not here. Obviously, we kind of having to improv everything we do tonight. So I thought I'd look at a few different things. One of the things we came across last night was a story generator, which was a bit odd. It was a zombie story generator where there's different kinds. There's different kinds of story generators you get online. The two kinds are a story idea generator, which is annoying for people like me when you're trying to find an interesting generator, and it turns out it's just trying to give you ideas, which is like, that doesn't even help a writer, by the way. It really doesn't. And then there's an actual one where you fill in a couple of fields worth of information. By fields, I mean boxes, not fucking fields. And then it comes stuff. And this is what Geek ended up with yesterday. As I saved it. This is what Geeks came up with after we put all the information in. A zombie apocalypse broke out. You, Boss, Joe, and Anna are the only survivors. Forced to work together to survive, you set up Camp Asda. You've gathered 22 kilos of bolognese and 5 litres of iron brew, and the only way to defend yourself against zombies is with a batarang. Boss wants a cool name for your zombie hunting group, so you call yourselves Red Dogs, and you slay zombies to the epic tunes of Move, Bitch.
Get out the way.
When not slaughtering zombies, you watch Game of Thrones together. Anna somehow managed to fix a computer using a Mountain Dew. You decide to visit Tumblr where you read that there are other survivors living in Spain. Using Joe's bus, you travel to Spain, slaying any zombie that stands in your way on the way there. Unfortunately, 1,989 kilometers down the road, the bus is destroyed by a zombified Al Pacino. The boss is sadly... I will kill you! And say hello to my little friend!
Or more like this.
You little cockroach.
Oh!
And boss...
Why you do it to me?
And boss is sadly killed in the process.
No!
Bum, bum, bum.
I like that shot.
Someone will have to distract the Al Pacino zombie while you attempt to fix the bus with the glass that you happen to have in your pocket. After a quick game of Arkham City, Anna is the one to distract Al Pacino. Somehow, yeah, I'm sorry, I had a joke there, I won't make it. After you somehow managed to fix the bus with the glass, you call Anna, but she was killed by the Al Pacino zombie. You try to slaughter the zombie with the batarang, but it is ineffective. The zombie found Al Pacino was angry. Surprise. And attempts to attack, but Joe sacrifices herself for you. You take off your hoodie and show the zombies your red t-shirt revealing the one bad motherfunker on it. This somehow repels the Al Pacino zombie and you are safe. As you walk back to the fixed bus, you are attacked by a horde of zombies. One of the zombies violently tears off your toe, and the zombies leave you to bleed to death. You try to disinfect your wound using some bolognese, but it is not very effective. I guess you should have paid more attention during sociology. With your last
Why? Why would sociology help me in a zombie attack?
With your last amount of strength, you scribble a note on your glass. To the person who finds this note, I don't know any catchphrases for that. Geek King. You slowly start to fade away, and your life flashes before your eyes right before you die. Well, at least he didn't die drowning. Today was not as intriguing as he thought it would be. And I'll try to find the link to that particular generator, and if I find it, I shall share it in the description box of the video or on the bottom part of the Tumblr post, wherever you're reading this. If you're watching this via Facebook, by the way, I'd suggest instead of watching the video on Facebook, actually click the YouTube link in on the actual video and actually go and watch this on the YouTube channel, just because it's easier. But yes, I decided to look for some other generators. I found 2 other generators, and then we're going to move on to something else we started doing last night. I don't know if these are going to be any good. These could be shit. So we will be judging them live on the show. Well, not live, we're recorded, but we should be judging them here and telling what we think about them. So, first of all, we need a hero's name. I think Geek King shall be our hero.
Well done.
And you shall be male.
That was the last time I
Now,
checked.
your sidekick's name. It can be male or female, but a sidekick. Who's going to be your sidekick? It could
Funk.
be Mini Funk it is.
Funkzilla.
Mini Funk.
Funkzilla.
I have taken to writing Mini Funk with Funk as in capital F-U. Just to put, I put the
No,
F.
actually, well, okay.
No, because if I have for some reason, his catchphrase should be, I put the F-U in Funk. I don't know what it is. But, okay. A vehicle. So your vehicle. Whatever you like.
Hummer.
You want a Hummer. Okay. A coveted object. So an object you desire or love very much. They've put an iPad as their example. So it could be any object in the universe. Probably not Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet. Although it'd be interesting. I would say that's coveted.
Pretty cool. Pretty damn coveted, I know that for sure.
Coveted a bit more than my neighbour's ass, I know that much. Mainly because I've seen my neighbour's ass and it's impressive, but not.
Batman number 171.
Okay. Batman 171.
I own it.
It's
the first official appearance of the Riddler.
a random animal.
Dog.
Okay. And a TV show you hate.
The Only Way is Essex.
The Only Way Now, would you like a happy ending with which is ridiculously idealistic, or an unhappy ending, which is comically merciless?
Unhappy.
Unhappy. Right, added tone. Extremely random?
Of course.
Sarcastic?
Duh.
Okay. Okay, so if your noun is not a proper noun, don't capitalize it. Fucking obviously. Okay, create a story. Here we go, Geek.
Okay.
It all started when our antagonizing protagonist, Geek King, woke up in a foxy forest. So what, were the trees wearing bikinis? What the fuck? It was the fourth time it had happened. Feeling abundantly exasperated, Geek King punched...
I don't even know what those words mean.
Geek King punched a ripened avocado, thinking it would make him feel better. But as usual, it did not. As if it really mattered, he realized that his beloved Batman 171 was missing. Immediately, he called his parole officer, Minifunk. Geek King had known Minifunk for, plus or minus, 550,000 years, the majority of which were flamboyant ones. Minifunk was unique. He was plucky, though sometimes a little abrasive. Geek King called him anyway, for the situation was urgent. Minifunk picked up to a very calm Geek King. Minifunk calmly assured him that the most spotted wolf hamsters turned red before mating. The venomous koalas usually explosively cringe after mating. He had no idea what that meant. He was only concerned with distracting Geek King.
I don't think Funk knows what that would mean.
Why was Tell me this doesn't sound like Minifunk. Why was Minifunk trying to distract Geek King? Because he had snuck out from Geek King's with the Batman 171 only 7 days prior.
Son of a bitch!
It was a saucy little Batman 171. How could he not resist?
It is quite saucy.
It didn't take long before Geek King got back to the subject at hand, his Batman 171. Minifunk shuddered. Reluctantly, Minifunk invited him over, assuming they'd find the Batman 171. Geek King grabbed his refrigerator and disembarked immediately. After hanging up the phone, Minifunk realized he was in trouble. Yeah, you are. He had to find a place to hide Batman 171, and he had to do it fiercely. He figured that if Geek King took the hippie-pleasing hybrid vehicle, he had to... a hippie-pleasing hybrid vehicle. You picked it. He at least take at least 11 minutes before Geek King would get there. But if he took the Hummer, then Minifunk would be barely screwed. I like the fact that the exact opposite is the one you picked. Before he could come with any reasonable ideas, Minifunk was interrupted by two clueless dogs that were lured by his Batman 171. Minifunk belched, "Not again," he thought. Feeling exasperated, he fiercely reached for his dull pencil and recklessly attacked every last one of them. Apparently this was an adequate deterrent. The discouraged critters began to scurry back towards the secret vineyard, squealing with discontent.
I like how random comedy this is.
He exhaled with relief. That's when he heard the Hummer rolling up. It was Geek King. Ba, ba, ba! As he pulled up, he felt a sense of urgency. I'm reading that as it is. He had to make an unscheduled stop at the Salvation Army to pick up a 12-pack of ripened avocados, so he knew he was running late. With a mighty leap, Geek King was out of the Hummer and went charismatically jaunting toward Minifunk's front door. Meanwhile, inside, Minifunk was panicking. Not thinking, he tossed the Batman 171 into a box of gerbils, then slid the box under his refrigerator. Minifunk was puzzled, but at least the Batman 171 was concealed. The doorbell rang. "Come in," Minifunk exotically purred. With a careful push...
He exotically purred at me?
Yeah. "Come in."
Yeah, fuck off with that shit.
No.
He did that to a little girl, did.
With a careful push, Geek King opened the door. "Sorry for being late, but I was being chased by some selfish coke fiend in a pimp-fresh, candy-painted lack," he lied. "It's fine," Minifunk assured him. Geek King took a seat frighteningly close to where Minifunk had hidden the Batman 171. Minifunk sneezed, trying unsuccessfully to hide his nervousness. "Can I get you anything?" he blurted. But Geek King was distracted. Just as 0 people expected, Minifunk noticed a pestering look on Geek King's face. Geek King slowly opened his mouth to speak. "What's that smell?" Minifunk felt a stabbing pain in his prostate when Geek King asked this. In a moment of disbelief, he realized he had hidden the Batman 171 right by his oscillating fan. "But what? I don't smell anything." A lie.
"I wouldn't smell a comic."
An annoying look started to form on Geek King's face. He turned to notice a box that seemed clearly out of place. "Those are just my grandma's gerbils from when she used to have pet disease-carrying chipmunks. She dropped them by here earlier." Geek King nodded with fake acknowledgement. Then, before Minifunk could react, Geek King randomly lunged toward the box and opened it. The Batman 171 was plainly in view! Geek King stared at Minifunk for what must have been 6 seconds. Ever so extemporaneously.
What the fuck?
Minifunk groped earnestly in Geek King's direction, clearly desperate.
Don't you go for me, you perv?
I think the fact is, it says clearly desperate. Geek King grabbed the Batman 171 and bolted for the door. It was locked. Minifunk let out an enticing chuckle. If only you hadn't been so protective of that thing, none of this would have happened, Geek King, he rebuked. Minifunk always had been a little clueless, so Geek King knew that reconciliation was not an option. He needed to escape before Minifunk did something crazy, like start chucking dangerous oil-soaked rags at him or something. In a blinding moment of misguided bravado, he gripped his Batman 171 tightly and made a dash toward the window, diving headlong through the glass panels. Minifunk looked on blankly. What the hell? That seemed excessive. But the door was open, you know. Silence of Geek King. And I think I varnished that window frame 5 days ago. It never ends. Suddenly he felt a twinge of concern for Geek King. Oh, you okay? Still silence. Minifunk walked over to the window and looked down. Geek King was gone. Bum, bum, bum! Just yonder, Geek King was struggling to make his way through the bush behind Minifunk's place. Geek King had severely hurt his shin during the window incident, but was starting to lose strength. Another pack of feral dogs suddenly appeared, having caught wind of the Batman 171. One by one, they latched onto the Geek King. Already weakened from his injury, Geek King yielded to the fury onslaught and collapsed. The last thing he saw before losing consciousness was a buzzing horde of dogs running off with his Batman 171. About 7 hours later, Geek King awoke, his kidney throbbing. It was a dark... Can your kidney throb?
Yes.
It was dark, and Geek King did not know where he was. Deep in the lonely imaginary desert, Geek King was alarmingly lost. Before anyone could take off their pants, he remembered that his Batman 171 was taken by the dogs.
How dare the little gits!
But at the point, he was just thankful for his life. That's when, to his horror, a large dog emerged from the disease-infested jungle. It was the alpha dog. Geek King opened his mouth to scream, but he was cut short when the dog sunk its teeth into Geek King's fingernail. With a faint groan, the life escaped from Geek King's lungs, but not before he realized he was a failure. Less than 11 miles away, Minifunk was entombed by anguish over the loss of the Batman 171. My precious, he cried, as he reached for a sharp and dull pencil. With an apt thrust, he buried it deep into his armpit. As the room began to fade to black, he thought about Geek King, wishing he had found the courage to tell him that he loved him. But he would die alone that day. All that remained was the Batman 171 that had turned them against each other, ultimately causing their demise. And as the dew on melancholy sapling branches began to reflect the dawn's reddish glare, all that could be heard was the chilling cry of distant dogs, desecrating all things sacred to virtuous men and perpetuating an evil that would reign for centuries to come. Our heroes would have lived unhappily ever after, but they were too busy being dead, so no one lived forever after. The end.
That was interesting. He said fucking least.
This was the Elite Story Generator version 1, written by Derek Clark. I will leave the link in the description.
That was fucking interesting to say the least.
It was. That was like one of those stories. Like, what? To be fair, that shit did sound like Minifunk.
It did.
He comes up with some of the random shit. Now I've only got one more here. This is a horror story generator.
Oh,
what?
I like horrors.
I know you don't like horrors.
Shit.
What annoys me about this is that there's no. I would do this one, but here's my problem.
How much stuff do you have to put into it? You might as well just write the story.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm not going to do this one, there's no room for a name apart from Pe.
Foreign word. Kaput. I know it's German, but how weird.
Okay, well, we'll move on to something else that we were looking at. Yeah, so there was this thing where you have to create your own Justice League and superhero team and zombie survival team and all that jazz, right? So I thought we'd try again to make our own superhero teams, but this time trying to find different versions where limitations have been applied. And I came across one here. This was posted by someone on comicvine.com.
Oh, Comicvine.
Yeah.
I like Comicvine.
Someone by the name of Metal KM. You're a comic book editor. You have an opportunity to create your own superhero team that you want to use. Use 7 slots available made up of existing superheroes. So 7 people. But here are the rules. You need at least 1 hero from Marvel.
Got you.
At least 1 from DC.
Got you.
At least 1 female.
Got you.
At least 1 male.
Got you.
Up to 7 in a total.
Got you.
Now, you don't have to, but feel free to mention a few supervillains that this team would battle as well if you wanted.
Okay.
Remember, it's not just about a kick-ass team, it's about selling comics with good stories, so personalities and how they interact are important.
Okay.
So, we actually have to think about how these stories would work. So we need 7 in total for both teams. So I'm just writing on a notepad here so I can write them down as we go. I mean, so we could repeat them, but how do you begin this one, really?
Hulk.
So the first one's Hulk. Okay, so your first guy is Hulk. All right. So now you've got that's your Marvel and your male. Really, so you don't have to. So all you need is a DC and female, and then it's open season.
Rogue.
Well, there you go. That's your female. Rogue. Oops.
About selling comics.
Yeah, it is about selling comics. Also about
good storylines.
Yes.
So Batman.
Batman. So there's your DC. So pretty much
Scott Snyder would be writing it.
Yeah.
Scott would be working with Bendis because I'd have Beast on there as well.
All right, Beast. Good to open season now because you've fulfilled all the requirements. So 3 more people. You got Hulk, Rogue, Batman, Beast.
Flash.
Which one?
Barry.
It feels weird when I can ask. I feel weird when I can actually now say, "Oh, which one?"
Yeah, I'm not quite a scientific team if you think about that. Take a Rogue out of it; they're all really brainy people.
Indeed.
Well, apart from when Hulk's Hulk.
Yeah.
Well, Flash, you've got to go GL. You've got to go Hal.
Hal John.
Hal Jordan.
I'll put GL, just in brackets.
Because Flash and Hal, that's your friendship pairing there.
Yeah.
Your Beast and Rogue has got a relationship.
Yeah.
Hulk's got a relationship with Beast from the Avengers. And Batman's got his relationship with the Flash and Jordan from JLA.
Yeah.
So how do you... So you want someone to fuck it up. That's chemistry. You want someone to be the fucking spark.
But what kind of spark? I mean, because maybe another female.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But, I mean, certain females wouldn't work. Like Emma Frost isn't going to work because no connection to either of them.
Well, she's got connections there.
Yeah, but not great ones.
She was in the fucking X-Men with Rogue and Beast as a fucking major part of the original
Alright, I'm an idiot. Can we move on? It's because I'm a retard. I don't read comics. That's my problem. I watch the animated shit. They don't even do the animated shit anymore. Well, they do the Looney Tunes. They do the Looney Tunes now. They redo the Looney Tunes. It's actually not too bad. The only thing which is different is that they're all a bit more domesticated because obviously it's more like dealing with that. But they're not any really less funny. I heard a lot of complaints about them. The soundtrack critics are doing a video about this. A lot of what people are saying is, there's not as much slapstick. It's like, well, go back and watch the old ones. You find there wasn't actually that much slapstick originally. Slapstick, you're looking at Tom and Jerry. This is like Bugs Bunny and Daffy, and really, most of their cartoons is, 3/4 of it is talking. I think that's where the humour comes from, the dialogue. That's why they had writers. But yes, a 7th member of your team. But I think my problem with M-Store is because the big thing was with Cyclops though.
Yeah,
And,
that was the relationship, and that still made you need to focus on that.
What about someone like Huntress or something like that?
So I was trying to think something like that. Yeah, have a connection to bats.
No, she's
Oracle.
Oracle.
Go Oracle.
Oracle.
Quite a scientific. You base this because not everything on there, right? On this, you'd have them face. You'd easily have these face the likes of Luthor, or Darkseid, or Magneto, or Thanos, or Galactus, And each time they face someone, they would have a way of doing it, but they'd also have a couple of ways of doing it. If they were to face Darkseid, they could easily work out a game plan where they go and beat him up, or how can we get rid of him without causing any damage? Because you've got arguably the fucking smartest hero in DC and Batman. The Oracle, trained by Batman, is a fucking computer genius. Beast has so many PhDs, he's not just Dr. Hank McCoy, he should be Doctor. He should be the freaking Doctor!
Yeah.
Rogue Rogue and Hulk, right? I guarantee you, gonna be sitting there going, so what do I punch? Hulk's gonna be sitting there going, what to smash with Hulk? But when he's Banner, he's the third smartest person in the Marvel universe. Behind Iron Man, well, arguably fourth. Arguably it's Iron Man. Arguably it goes Reed Richards, Iron Man, Hank Pym. But after the whole Siege story, it was revealed that Iron Man may even be smarter. Tony Stark may be smarter than Reed. So you've got them, right? Then you've got the Flash, who is a forensic scientist. But only on top of that, due to the Speed Force being able to tap into his brain, where he can slow down the speed of how he thinks, is a fucking genius. And Hal Jordan, he's a space cop.
Yes. He
controls this entire sector and has the core at any time he wants to. I think it could be an entertaining group, and I think that the way you do it, you'd have Bendis, who writes the current Avengers and the current X-Men ones. Gillian, who I'm a great fan of his work, who wrote Journey into Mystery, is currently writing Young Avengers, and I believe Avengers Arena, as well as Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man. And you'd have Snyder, who writes the current Batman run. He wrote Nightly Owls, Court of the Owls, as well as Death of a Family. And is a fucking genius when it comes to Batman. He knows. I don't think I've seen anyone, and this includes Morrison, know Bruce Wayne as well as him. Batman, they've all got a different spin on it, it's all great. But Bruce, I think he knows Bruce better than anyone. And so I'd have them three write it, maybe collectively, maybe taking arcs at a time, and then conjoin for like the epic. And then I'd have the writers that they all work with, the artists they all work with, and individual ones. But I'd probably try and keep it mainly. I always forget his name. I always apologize as well for it. The current artist on all new X-Men, because he's my favorite artist going at the minute.
I was like, I can quickly look it up while you're talking.
Yeah, so I think that'd be great. And the opening arc would have to be Luthor and Magneto getting together. Because that's a scary prospect.
Artist
Stuart Immonen.
Yeah, Stuart Immonen. Creator Brian Michael Bendis. Stuart Immonen. Yeah, so there you go.
It's a very good. He's one of my favorite artists going today. So yeah.
Were you explaining the story there?
No, I was saying I'd have Magneto, and the reason that you'd have the crossover. You'd have them. Coming together, and it'll be like, why don't because people are going to look at this, and I'd make it a DC Marvel collaboration, a collab,
yeah.
And I'd make it so that was the point. But the main thing, what I would do is I'd emphasize that yes, these are in the same universe. Why? Because somewhere along the lines, Magneto's turned back to being a fucking dick. And has decided that he's going to go to a different universe, and has bumped into Lex Luthor. The two have came together, and just sitting there going, and that's how it ends the first issue. You'd have to do it. You'd have to do a fanboy service of them fighting each other. Oracle's going, maybe they've dropped into Gotham, and fucking Flash turns up, and Flash and Howard are being given ward by the Justice League. And Oracle's going, Bruce, we got three bogeys in the arena. We don't know what they can do. Be careful. And all of a sudden, it's fucking Hulk smashing through the fucking Gotham Iceberg Lounge, just destroying a bunch of people who he doesn't know, but assumes as bad guys because they look like it.
Mm.
Rogue is following him, trying to stop him, but at the same point, oh shit, this guy, the fucking penguins just jumped her or something.
Mm.
Mrs. Oz would be a great one for Rogue because he likes to get close and personal. Rogue just touches him, and then next thing you know, she's a fucking psychotic killer. They've got to take her down. Beast is there trying to make sure that not everything gets broken, but at the same time is sitting there going, if you touch me, I'll break you. They go through it. It comes down to them fanboy service. You give the fucking DC versus Marvel fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, you would go suddenly to Metropolis. You'd see Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
The last panel, because I don't know why all of a sudden this is suddenly shot into my head of what it actually looked like.
Mm.
Sometimes it's a problem with me when I do stories. Is I can see the panels so perfectly. It's why if I was ever to write and publish a comic book, I would be terrible for an artist. Artists a lot of the time these days I'd be told, yeah, so this happens, this happens on the page, 4 panels, do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
These are the words that need to go to the word bubbles, blah blah blah. I would be right. This happens in panel 1. Panel 2 happens like this. Panel 3 then shoots this. Panel 4 shoots this. This is what he says. This is what actually looks like. I'm really bad, but you'd go there. You'd have LexCorp, and you see it on a big panel. Probably it'd be a 2-page panel. Sorry, not 2-page panel. One page, 2 panels.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them would take up half the page. The first one would be an outside one of LexCorp, and you'd see a word bubble saying, well, that was unexpected. And it'd be, you'd assume it's Lex saying it straight away. And then you'd have another one where it'd shoot and you'd see the 2 people standing there in silhouettes. You wouldn't be able to make out who they were. I'd be, yes, but, the best laid plans of mice and men. And then you go, yeah, and then that'd be Lex. But you'd see the silhouette of Magneto and know from his silhouette it was Magneto because of the helmet and the cape. And you go, yes, but I'm not a man. I'm a mutant.
Yes.
And that would be then at the bottom, to be continued. And that's how you'd end the first issue. Straight away, you've got you got a number 1 bestseller, and you're going into the next fucking 6 or 7 comics if you can pick up that, contain this pace of going, this next year we don't need to worry because we can write bullshit and they'll pick it up. It's a fucking Batman comic that features the Hulk every issue.
Sometimes I love the way your foul at mind works. To quote Jafar. Well, I've got a team here. I'll try to do the team first, then after, because whilst you've been talking, I've been doing mine.
Yeah, sure.
Right, first man I'm mentioning is Wolverine.
Yeah.
Second person, Red Hood, as in
well,
Jason Todd.
There's a sold out audience already. You used to put Wolverine and Red Hood into the same one. Well, I know what genre 18 or 30-year-old fucking males are buying.
Yep. Up next in this list, it's going to be Black Widow, as in of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And Natalia Romanoff.
Yeah.
Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah. Next in this lineup is I'm trying to think. I was trying to go on the male-female kind of over here. Next in the lineup would be, because there's a logic to why certain ones aren't appearing in the list. Next one would be Black Canary. I'll explain why in a minute. Then, fan favourite, Deadpool.
And you've sold this out again.
Yes, I have. Then, not for fan base reasons, like for me, my fan base. The Question.
Oh, okay. That's a nice. That's your spark there. I mean, that's your sparky character, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
or as I said before, it's spark character.
Oh, it's okay. And the last character for this one, it's determining differences like good guys, bad guys in my head. So this one, bit of a cheat.
Go ahead.
Bear with me. Lex Luthor from the alternate universe.
Oh, from Earth 2.
Crisis on Two Earths.
Yeah, so from Earth 2.
Yeah. There's a reason for it. Here's the story.
Okay.
Right? It's called... it's basically called The War of the Gods.
Yeah.
Superman has invaded the Marvel Universe, trying to take over too. This is like following on, not just like kind of injustice, kind of red sun kind of thing, but it's like that similar idea that Superman ends up deciding the world would be better if he ran it.
Yeah.
Now he's turned into the Marvel Universe because he's learned of something called the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And he knows that if he has that, he's going to be, unopposed. Now, he's not a stupid guy. So, some of the most powerful people who'd be considered gods, almost, have been banished to another realm. Not the Phantom Zone, because it's easy to get them back from the Phantom Zone, Everyone in DC knows about it. Batman knows about all the jazz, right? So, people like Wonder Woman, Power Girl, Thor, fucking Sentry, all these people have somehow been banished to another realm. Now, Batman was originally leading the charge against Superman. So Superman does the unthinkable. He kills Batman. All of them.
Okay.
Nightwing gone.
Yeah.
So you got Tim Drake gone. You've got...
Which leaves Jason left.
Yeah. And Jason Todd does not like this.
Well, of course, Jason's a fucking lunatic with a
Yeah.
gun and who has a complex about you killing his family members.
Yeah. People like the Huntress was killed.
So the entire Bat family.
Yeah. This is like the last... Jason Todd now is not only pissed, not only super pissed, but if he could, he would drop the universe on Superman to kill him. Obviously, he can't do that, but... So this elite force is grouped together to try and act as like a renegade kind of group, vigilante group. That is until the Question and Lex Luthor appear and say there's something we can do about this.
Right, yeah.
So the actual series becomes them trying to find out how Superman managed to banish these people, how to reverse it, and the entire story is about getting them back.
I like that. You had the first two issues where you don't see anyone but Superman.
Mm.
Superman's just killing these characters, and then you get to the point where the third issue is Jason kicking ass, taking names, and he comes across Wolverine.
Yeah.
He comes across Widow, Deadpool, Canary's with Jason the whole time because she's very close to the Bat family.
Mm.
And then at the last, maybe the fourth issue, that's when the Question and Luthor turn up and say, listen, we have a problem, but don't worry, we have a plan.
Yeah.
At which point the Question the last thing you'd see was the Question going on a small little panel at the bottom of the page, a huge panel where you see them all standing around in a circle, because for some reason superheroes only stand in a circle.
Yeah.
You don't know if you noticed that.
Either that or a completely straight horizontal line.
Or kind of there in a triangle.
Yeah.
It's a little,
completely absurd, stupid ways.
Yeah, not just standing there in a group, going like this. Marvel Civil War did that, where they were all in a group because they're in a fucking penthouse.
Yeah.
But every other time, they're either in a fucking stupid line or they're in a circle.
Yeah.
But so you'd have that, and you'd have them saying, we've got a plan, at which point you'd have the last panel being a close-up of, like a small panel at the bottom of a small square, close-up panel of Question, and he'd go, well, I've got a plan.
Yeah.
And then he'd go, to be continued. Dun, dun, dun.
Because the idea is Lex Luthor's your guy for trying to develop anti-Superman weaponry, based on kryptonite philosophies and all that jazz. The Question's there because he knows everything about everything. He's the guy that, and if he doesn't know about it, he'll find out about it. So he's the one that, because obviously out of all of them, he's one of the few people that believes in shit like mysticism, apart from Deadpool, who knows firsthand. Obviously Deadpool just can't be killed.
I was literally reading Deadpool Annual 1 today, like one of the annuals.
Yeah.
Where it was, I got free from Marvel during the ones.
Yeah.
The ones and the free shots they give away.
Hi.
And that explained all about how he first met Death and how Death became enticed with him because he could see her and he was alive still. And I was sitting there going, this is an amazing concept. That not only is Death in love with him, he envisions what Death looks like to be a smoking hot babe with a skull for a face. And all he wants to do is get with Death, and all Death wants to do is get with him, but she can't because she's not a physical entity. Yeah. And he has to now have some sort of death around him for him to see it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Who wrote this and why did they do this? It's amazingly insane.
Yeah. Well, also the idea about this being Deadpool can't be killed. And there'll be like times where Superman gets full nuking, and Deadpool kind of walks out like, "Ow, mother!"
What are you doing? I told you before.
Oh,
we having tacos? No, don't start.
Yeah, obviously, I'd be interested in seeing what could develop between someone like Black Widow and Red Hood, because given
that would be a perfect.
Yeah.
You're shipping right there.
Yeah,
that is a ship that would set sail so hard on Tumblr.
And obviously, the complete and total Wolverine and the Questions relationship would be very conflicting.
No, the greatest one between out of all that,
yeah,
Luthor and Deadpool.
Yeah.
That relationship right there is Deadpool falling in love with Lex.
Yeah.
And Lex going, please leave me alone. Please leave me
Yeah.
alone. You're an imbecile. Leave me alone. You're so pretty.
Yeah.
Why is your hair so shiny?
But if you look at the relationship, like you've got Wolverine and the Question's it's insufferably smart. And Wolverine is very tactile smart.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you always speak in riddle? He's like, I don't speak in riddle. Says, yes, you fucking do. It's like that idea. If you look at Wolverine and Jason Todd, talk about a fucking, cutting the tension with a knife.
Yeah.
Two guys who feel they should be in charge. Wolverine's trying to save the world. Jason Todd is trying to kill Superman. Wolverine and Black Widow, obviously there's already an established relationship. Wolverine, Black Canary, Wolverine, I could say the very almost X-Men movie style with Rogue. It's always like trying to look after him, because obviously Black Canary's lost Green Arrow.
Yep.
And the Question and Green Arrow never really gone on in the version of that. So,
that's pretty much the same.
So, but I can see Wolverine kind of, because he's like, Black Canary does have a soft side, but she's quite tough at last. But I think Wolverine would be able to appreciate that while being able to get to her softer side. Wolverine, Deadpool, we all know that relationship very well. Like I said, we've always said Wolverine, the Question. And Wolverine, Lex Luthor, I could see Wolverine, Lex Luthor, even a line along the lines of, yeah, I knew another bull-headed guy like you. You're not him. That kind of you're no Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
It's like Charles Xavier.
You're no Chuck.
Yeah. Now, if you look at Red Hood and Black Widow, obviously I can see, even for a psychopath, I can see Jason wow. I like your guns.
Yeah.
Those guns, you know what I mean?
I can see Deadpool and Jason sitting there like this. Jason's just going, yes, guns. Who stole me gun? What gun? And it was crazy going, I had 14 guns and now 13 guns. That's an unlucky number. That's why I wanted 14.
I can often see, Jason Todd, keep shooting him, like, do you not die? I will find a way.
Why won't you die?
Red Hood and Black Canary, they've never really, as far as I'm aware, met before, but I can imagine it be like, they both have a respect for Batman. So I can imagine it's one of, I can imagine almost like a jealous kind of thing, like if Black Canary ever talks about Batman, Red Hood would always like, you don't know what you're talking about, because obviously he knew Batman better than anyone. Again, as I just said, Jason Todd and Deadpool, hilarious. Red Hood and the Question, they haven't met, but I could see that one
No, yeah.
I can imagine Question going, actually, I don't have a problem with your methods.
I can see the Question noticing they're going, Bruce never believed in this. Who said Bruce was Batman? Come on, everyone knew.
Yeah.
No, nobody knew.
I knew.
No,
I can say that.
I think you knew.
Like I said, Jason Todd and Lex Luthor. Well, obviously, I could imagine Jason Todd. I can imagine times where Jason Todd's like, "You're the wrong Lex Luthor." You know what I mean? Like,
I'm still gonna kill you.
Yeah. Then you got Black Widow going through the other ones. Black Widow and Black Canary. I can see them kind of hitting it off and training with each other. Try to teach you what I don't know, and I'll teach you what you don't know. Black Widow and Deadpool, I'm sure there's been meetups between them before. Black Widow and...
Actually, Deadpool and Black Widow, when Black Widow was sent undercover, there's a little bit of a fucking weird one.
Yeah.
Black Widow was sent undercover to the Thunderbolts during the Dark Reign by Nick Fury to portray the other Black Widow.
Right.
So she wore a blonde wig or dyed her hair blonde.
Yeah.
She actually had a short romance with Deadpool, and Deadpool fell for her, and Black Widow kind of didn't kill him or anything like that because she was undercover, so she didn't really want to kill him because he was doing the good thing. He was fighting against
The evil, yeah.
Norman.
Right.
And Norman Osborn, that is.
Right.
And there was also a moment where she goes, I can't really like Deadpool, do I? Yeah. It's like, I think you do.
Well, Black Widow and The Question, I imagine that would be one of the ones that actually does hit it off quite well. Not a romantic sense, but very much in a, you have to say, I'm a fan of your methods, and I'm a fan of yours as well. Like, The Question could completely understand. And then Black Widow and Lex Luthor, I could just say is like, again, I have no trust in you whatsoever. I'm assuming at this, by the way, that Nick Fury is still very much alive. Just this is a specialized team. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine that there would be moments where Lex Luthor and Nick Cage kind of collide, and Black Widow's like, what Nick Fury says goes. And even Wolverine's like, sorry, Bob, you lose this one. Black Canary and Deadpool, I could see Black Canary constantly being annoyed by Deadpool and just like, ugh, go away. That kind of thing.
I think that'd be the one that Deadpool would fall in love with. He's got a thing for authoritarian figures with big chests.
Yeah. Black Canary and The Question, again, there's an established thing there. Black Canary and Lex Luthor, I could see finding it hard to trust a Luthor.
Yeah.
So Deadpool and The Question is one of those ones which is like, they'll be like sitting in the room on their own every now and then. And, Deadpool will be... I can see the scene where Deadpool's like, Chimichanga? You're quite an odd person, aren't you? Or someone will just like, let's say everyone leaves the room because like, oh my god, you guys are weird. And they're just sitting there on their own, and you have like, I would say maybe 5 panels, like something, right? Just them sitting there, like, you're weird. So you have the first one, then you have like 3 of just them sitting there with nothing being said, and the final 5th one being questioned to everyone. They say you can't die. Something like that, or just Deadpool equally being the one to turn a question and go, Chimichanga?
I could see them all sitting there and be like, and then he looks, do you have the question in between Wolverine and Deadpool and go, hands up who can't die.
And finally, The Question and Lex Luthor. Well, The Question knows all about this Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But in his mind, he's already seen what can happen in alternate dimensions, so he's probably going to be like the one constantly keeping an eye on Lex Luthor. It's like that's going to be like an antagonistic relationship.
I can see that, yeah.
So yeah, that's mine. And like I say, it would be called War of Gods, and it would center around Superman being fucking insane, not like maniacally insane, but just like, yeah, I'm gonna take over, and Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, I should take that. And you can even have like side stories where it is just about Superman going off to try and fight Thanos and shit like that.
I can see that. That'd be cool.
Or if it's like, you can even have it where Superman versus Thanos, and then just to piss the readers off, have him beat Thanos, and then it's like, oh my god, and then Thanos goes, you didn't think I'd keep the gauntlet here, did you? And then it's like, well, where is it? It's like, well, I'm not going to tell you. Then it turns out that the gauntlet, as you'd expect, is in pieces across the universe. It's like, no! I needed that! All the time that he's fighting this, it gives our heroes a great chance it gives us a chance to do things. One, our heroes to get on with their mission, and 2, to introduce other people as the villain. Because Superman's not going to do it on his own. He could.
Oh.
But, you can have heroes, just like Injustice, were to his cause. And villains as well. People like, what's he called? Is it Black Adam?
Yeah,
the whole Shazam and all the jazz. Maybe, you could have him, be one of his lieutenants. You could have people like, of course, people from the Marvel Universe as well. Maybe even someone like Magneto or Mephisto.
Oh.
And when you're like, well, why would you work with him? He says, work with him, I'm just biding my time, Imagine how many people would be working with Superman just to one day get him. You know what I mean? So it would be like a huge thing. To be honest with you, I can see people like the Green Lantern Corps getting involved in all that jazz. But I imagine that the reason why the Green Lantern Corps are involved yet, because they have to come up with a plan. Because they're not just going to go, "Ray!" I can imagine them going to the planet and going, "We need a problem." In fact, I would, as camp as it is, I can see it being like a rainbow assault here. Most the colours.
Fabulous.
Yeah. With the exception of maybe red and orange. But I can see like things like fear, fear, will, hope, and all that jazz. Basically yellow, green, blue. and Indigo, I think. Maybe even White, if you got someone like, you get characters like Emma Stone involved, but again, a lot of these people are going to be like trapped in certain places, depending on how powerful they are. So people like Wonder Woman are like completely addressed. So yeah, that would be mine. So there you go. Technically, not a flying cast and all that jazz, but maybe one day we can come back to these.
A little something, something.
A little something.
If you know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying. Now, we got a bit of time. We got a little bit of time on the show. So just very quickly, just go through this. There's a meme that goes around, of course. It's called My Zombie Apocalypse Team, and there are 8 people you've got to pick for it. And the idea is you're supposed to use either fictional characters or like celebrities, whatever. A team leader, a brawler, a weapons expert, your brains, your medic, your speed fighter, your mascot, and the guy who dies first. And everyone, puts in the guy who dies first. They put fucking Justin Bieber.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to try something like this, or if you just want, for this episode, just try and...
Team leader would be...
I don't know if you want to put a limit, or if just for this episode, just try and do it normally, and then maybe come back to it in the future.
Do it normally how it feels, how it wanted. So team leader.
Yeah.
Nick Fury.
Okay.
He's just a good.
Makes sense.
Just a good leader.
Makes sense.
Brawler. Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
My weapon expert would be Q from James Bond.
All right. Just in case anyone's a fan of Star Trek. Q's a god entity in Star Trek.
I'd have Sherlock Holmes for my brains.
Oh, very interesting.
Medic. Elixir from X-Men is a healer.
All right.
Speed fighter. Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. The mascot would be dog. He's a big fuck off dog. And the guy who dies first would be Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Okay. Although I just say guy, but I'm going to give you Taylor Swift because I will use it as a generic term. Okay. Mine might take a bit of explanation. So, team leader would be Bastila from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. The reason being that she wouldn't actually be doing any of the fighting. What she has is a force power called Battle Meditation.
Yeah.
And what it does is it brings all of the forces under your command in a kind of force-enforced unison. So when she used Battle Meditation on the side of the Republic during the big war against like the Mandalorians and the Sith, their attack coordination was perfect. There was not a single weakness in their lines because they were all as one almost. So she would be like, and she can be as far away as she needs to be, really, because she's that powerful.
Yeah.
So she could be back at base and all that jazz, and whilst he's fighting, and just use a battle meditation. So she could do that. Brawler. I'm going to try and be a bit different, just so we don't end up with the same list. Brawler. Brawler, I'll go with trying to think of some decent ones. Brawler. Because there's some great ones I'm avoiding. I'm avoiding anything from Dragon Ball Z because that's overpowered. Just as DC and Marvel's fine, but Dragon Ball Z, Jesus fucking Christ. Brawler. I'll come back to Brawler. Weapons expert would be Black Widow from Marvel.
Cool.
Brains. Brains of a zombie apocalypse team. Probably Bruce Wayne. You wouldn't necessarily have to be Batman. Could be Batman.
Cool.
But yeah, Bruce Wayne, Batman. Medic. Medic. Oh, Medic. It would be the guy from 8 Mile. The 8 Mile. Sorry. Is it 8 Mile? 3 Mile. Sorry.
It's 8 Mile, right?
Yeah, I was getting confused.
Coffee.
Yeah, Coffee. You know, it'd be him. That way, he doesn't die for a start. And I'm assuming his powers are divine.
Yeah, I assume so.
So if he became a zombie, God isn't going to go, well, yeah, keep your powers. You know what I mean?
He's supposed to be Jesus, so...
Yeah, so somehow I don't think that's going to fly. So if he became a zombie, he's just a strong zombie, not with any powers. Your Speed Fighter. Speed Fighter. So I'm just opening up the drink, which may or may not be Scottish in origin. And I know one thing.
Give me some of that lovely iron brew.
Well, the funny thing is, it hasn't got any iron in it, and it's not brewed. So,
spoken incorrectly with your name as well.
But a Speed Fighter.
Sorry, who was your brains?
My brains was Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Speed Fighter. Again, I'm trying to be a bit different. Because obviously the Flash is your fucking obvious one if you've got brains in your head. Because I know a lot of fast fighters who are thick as shit, and they wouldn't be great in situation. Might sound a bit weird, but Jackie Chan.
See, I was tempted to go with Bruce Lee. But I was trying to keep it fictional.
Yeah, I went Jackie Chan with his movie. A lot of his movies. There's one particular movie where he's just straight up badass. He's just like, but he, just because of his quickness and his intelligence at the same time, a mascot, be Crypto the dog. Would fucking help.
It's fucking awesome, Crypto.
Guy who dies first.
Fucking love Crypto.
Guy who dies first, Malfoy, fuck you. Never liked the character of Malfoy in Harry Potter. Never liked him.
Poor Draco.
Fuck him. And by going back to Brawler, Hulk.
Yes, because anyone from the DC, from the Dragon Ball Z universe would be too powerful.
There's an argument that Goku could take on Hulk.
There is an argument.
Yeah, it's a shit
What's a fucking argument?
No, because technically if Hulk is completely consumed by rage, a Genki Dama would work on him.
Okay.
Or at the very least, Goku would be able to convert all that negative energy into positive.
I'm not disagreeing here. I'm just pointing out there is a lot of arguments.
I'm talking about the people that listen. They'll go, "No way, man!
Fuck you, man!"
But anyway, I think
fucking Goku, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll do a little bit of plugging,
and then we will do our own new show, bitches.
Hey guys, SteveJones313 here, and I'm here to tell you 2 places you should check out immediately. If you're looking for a special gift for a friend, or perhaps you're just a fan of jewellery, collectibles, or dragons, then I've got 2 places just for you. The first thing I'd check out is RAR. RAR has some of the best handmade jewellery and collectibles you can get, from special hair clips, key rings, and even phone charms. And the beauty is, all this can be customizable, so if you're looking for a special custom item, then all you got to do is check out the pages, contact the artist, and strike up a deal, and I promise you that the quality and the prices are awesome. But if you're a fan of dragons, check out Starlight Sanctuary for orphan dragons. Here you'll find a collection of the cutest dragons available, just waiting for a good home, and all of a great quality. All these items are made by artist Helen Logan, someone that I've known for a very long time, an amazing person, very kind-hearted person, who works very, very hard. So I'm making this advert to help support her. I don't receive any money for this. I would never ask for money of this, and I would never accept any money for this. I'm doing this because she is awesome, and I think you should check her stuff out. So how do you do that? Well, you can check out these amazing collections by following the links in the description. In the description you'll find the links to the Facebook pages, the Tumblr page, and the DeviantArt page. And remember, if you're looking for a special item, contact her via Facebook or DeviantArt, and then she'll get back to you as soon as she can. So remember, Starlight Sanctuary and RAR for your handmade jewellery, collectibles, and dragons. I'm SteveJones313. Thanks for listening. So,
Ladies and gentlemen,
so basically,
it's showtime.
You can check out our stuff on Tumblr. The show's Tumblr is shouttheshow.
We are trying to get more things on there. It's just, I do the Total Markout one on my own. I have 2 blogs to run.
Yeah.
Boss has his own blog to run. It's very busy during the fucking days anyway.
Yeah.
It's just difficult. And Funk pretty much just reblogs to his own blog of shit I posted on my blog, and that's not really shout accessible.
Yeah, but you can,
unless you want more boobs on Tumblr, you tell me.
If you want to check out more shout stuff, you can check us out on shouttheshow.com, facebook.com/shouttheshow, or youtube.com/user/shouttheshow. Now to check out individual stuff, follow Geek King on Twitter and Tumblr at Twitter. Geek King, that is G33K _KING, that's G3K or Tumblr at geekking.tumblr.com, that's G33K KING.tumblr.com, no underscore on that particular link there. Follow myself on Twitter and Tumblr by going to at SteveJones313, that's SteveJones313, or SteveJones313.tumblr.com. I also have a Facebook fan page if you are a fan of mine. I don't expect people to jump on it just because I asked them to, but if you want to, facebook.com/DSteveJones313. And of course, follow Minifunk on Tumblr and Twitter. On both accounts, it's the Lone Walker 1. So it's at the Lone Walker 1, and that is lonewalker1.tumblr.com, and it's the number 1, not the word. We will be back next week, where it'll be Geeks Show, and it will be the #show quiz, where I defend my championship, my second time as champion. Thank God it lasted more than 8 fucking days. But I will be defending my #show championship against the Lone Walker 1, Minifunk Adam. And like I said, it's Geek Show as well, so you can expect everything from entertainment news to boobs. And you know what? Who doesn't like fucking boobs? Actually, who doesn't like boobs? Who doesn't like fucking? It's all good. And now we're off to try out a pilot for our new show to be hosted under Geek King's production banner. And we will let you know more about that next week on the Geek Show. So, from the Geek and myself, it's goodbye. Geek, take us out.
For every person in this world who didn't know who the fuck Anne Frank was and hoped that she'd be a believer, we say no. But for everyone who said, die, you little dumbass shit, we say thank you for listening. This has been the boss. This has been the Geek King, and this has been #show.